Hi everyone, my name is Sage. I have been posting on YouTube for a long time. It's been since 2012 and I have shared so much of my life, and in the most recent couple of years it's been a lot about my health journey, and I took a couple months off from filming and posting because a lot has happened. I was gonna say these last couple of months, but really it's been years of dealing with my health and finding answers and going through procedures and so many doctor's visits. And so I really want to share an update on my new diagnosis of, there's a lot of things, but the main thing that I have been diagnosed with is endometriosis. I want to start way back and share my journey on how I finally was diagnosed with endometriosis, but let's go back. Also, I feel like this video is going to be all over the place. I haven't really thought about what I want to say. I really want this to just be organic and sharing an update on what's been going on, because I've been sharing my life and spreading awareness of different health conditions and diseases, and it's so important to get checked, to self-advocate for yourself. If a doctor says you're fine and you don't feel fine, go to the next doctor. As most of you know, I was diagnosed with a cyst cell carcinoma, which is a form of cancer, in 2021. I am good. I'm not out of the clear yet because I kind of have to wait 5 years, I've been told, to really get the clear. But I get checked a lot. I get checked through MRIs, maybe, and CT scans, maybe it started every 6 months, then it was 9 months. Now it's really just up to me on when I want to get checked. Now it's at a year, but I get checked maybe every 10 months. It really just depends on how I'm feeling. I get checked a lot because the form of cancer I had was extremely rare, and the route my team of doctors and I decided to take was not doing chemo or radiation. Because I didn't do other treatment besides surgery, I have to get checked a lot. Last year I became really sick again, so I did a ton of scans, I did a ton of blood work. I did find out I have Hashimoto's disease, which is a thyroid disease. My thyroid gets really swollen. It comes and goes in waves. Sometimes it hurts so bad I can't talk. Sometimes, like today, it's just a little raspy. I've tried different medications for my Hashimoto's, but I'm kind of just living with it, learning how to function with different symptoms I may feel. But knowing that I have Hashimoto's, I'm aware of different symptoms I feel now, which would be fatigue, a ton of other symptoms. I kind of realize, like, oh, that makes sense. It could be my Hashimoto's. I get checked regularly through ultrasound on my thyroid. I believe there was a cyst, but nothing alarming. It was pretty small. My team of doctors also discovered that I have a cyst in my pancreas, which alarmed my team of doctors again. So I had to find a pancreatic oncologist to figure out if it was cancer or not. I then went under surgery to biopsy the cyst and make sure nothing else looked wrong in my pancreas. Everything was fine. The cyst is benign. I just have to go in regularly every year and get it checked to make sure it hasn't grown or turned into cancer. With all of those doctor's appointments, I experienced extreme symptoms, and I just want to list up. I'm going to be super vulnerable with this. I experienced extreme pelvic pain, fatigue, abdominal pain. Like, I'm talking, I can't press on my stomach without it hurting. I can't be hugged a certain way without my stomach hurting. Irregular periods, back pain, leg pain. I can't really walk a certain amount of miles or distance without getting excruciating leg pain, joint pain, nerve pain. The list really goes on and on and on and on. So I had all of these symptoms and I was told, oh, it's from your cancer. Well, cancer was removed and resolved, still having these symptoms. Oh, it's your Hashimoto's, which could be true. The fatigue especially could definitely be because of my Hashimoto's. I don't doubt it. Joint pain could be from my Hashimoto's. Don't doubt it. Could possibly be why. So I went to see my gynecologist to figure out, okay, well, I'm having all this pelvic pain. Is there something wrong? Nothing. I was literally told it was anxiety, it was depression, it was in my head. I'm like, no, but I'm feeling these things. Like, I am in so much pain all of the time. And I was basically told that it was just in my head and I'm overthinking it, which is insane. That's insane, because then I felt crazy. I felt like, well, what is wrong with me to be thinking that I'm feeling these things if I'm actually not? I was. Hello, I was. Go in for a normal gynecologist appointment. You get your pap smears, as everyone does, and I have abnormal cells in my cervix, so I had to do a colposcopy to make sure it wasn't cervical cancer. It's not cervical cancer. But that didn't tell me, it didn't help me. I saw 3 different doctors at this one office and nothing was resolved. I did an ultrasound, and I remember this one nurse practitioner looked at the ultrasound and she said, this looks like endometriosis, but there's nothing you can do about it. I remember that so vividly. And I thought at the time, like, I don't even know what endometriosis is, but clearly it's not anything I can help or do, because I don't even know if it's for sure, but she said you can't do anything about it, so I guess it's whatever. So I had that in my head, like, oh, I might have endo, but I don't know what that is, so whatever. And then I was put on hormones, I was put on estrogen, I believe testosterone and progesterone. Maybe not testosterone, but progesterone and estrogen. I did that for about a year. That did not do anything. I was on amitriptyline, which is a antidepressant, but also can help with nerve pain. That didn't do anything. And I did a whole year of physical therapy. That didn't do anything either. So a whole year, and I'm still, like, nothing has changed. Nothing. I remember going into this gynecologist's office, and I knew I didn't like this doctor. I didn't feel comfortable. And I remember just saying, like, what do I do? Like, I need help. I'm in so much pain. I can't live my life as a normal 20-year-old girl, and I don't know what to do. And I remember her saying, you're never gonna feel good. You're never gonna find anybody to help you, especially in Georgia. So your best bet is going somewhere else, and they probably can't even help you. I remember breaking down crying when I got in the car, thinking, this is my life, this is it, and I'm gonna suffer forever. And I knew deep down that wasn't it, that wasn't the end for my fighting to figure out what was wrong. I still had fight in me to figure out answers. So I did research, and I found a pelvic floor specialist. So I made the appointment, went to this doctor, and I did 6 rounds of injections into my pelvic floor. I think it had Valium, saline, and something else in the injections, but it was basically to relax the nerves. I did it every week for 6 weeks. It was so painful. And while doing those injections, I was also seeing a different physical therapist. Weeks go by, I go in for a follow-up. She asks how I'm doing. I'm like, I still have this pain, like, I don't understand. And she's like, give it time, give it time. I'm like, I'm giving it time. And it finally comes up to where I should be feeling 100% better, and I haven't even felt the slightest of difference. So she said, I really need you to go see an endometriosis specialist. And I remember telling her, I was told I might have it, but there was something I can do. I research best endometriosis specialist in Georgia. I find one, I make the appointment, I go. He basically, long story short, asked me a ton of questions, and was like, you definitely have endo, let's do the surgery. And for some reason, I felt like I didn't really feel that comfortable with this doctor. he was great. Nothing wrong with him. Just personally, I felt like it was more of a, let's just get that money and do the surgery. And I was scared for my fertility if he was gonna take, you know, a ton of endometriosis and tissue out of my ovaries and my uterus, that it would cause my fertility to like suffer. So I did more research and I found a different specialist, and I made the appointment. I went in, and it was seriously like a 3-hour appointment. I went to his office and we talked for so long. I talked to his other doctors first, and then he came in and I talked to him. So it was a big team of people. It was not just one person. And he asked me about my period symptoms. He asked me about my day-to-day activities, what I can do, what I can't do, how I feel on a regular basis. I was just telling him the whole spiel about how I feel every single day. And he takes me in, he does an in-depth ultrasound of literally everything. He has this 3D ultrasound which can detect some sort of endometriosis. It showed all the little bumps in my cervix of where the endometriosis was. Instead of it being smooth, it was all rigid. So he said, you definitely have endometriosis. And he found also that I have PCOS. So he told me I have PCOS and endo. I went into a conference room with the whole team of doctors going over a game plan of what he thinks could be happening, and I scheduled the surgery. Fast forward, it comes time to my surgery, and I was so nervous, but I go in and I don't really remember much. I remember laying on the table or like on the bed in the operating room, and I remember crying because I was so scared, but I remember like holding hands with the nurses. I just remember like feeling their hands and then rubbing my arms, which was so nice and very comforting. So surgery happened. I believe I was in surgery for 4 hours, maybe 3, 5, I don't know. I think it was somewhere in between 3 and 5 hours. I want to preface that the surgery that you have to diagnose your endometriosis is called a laparoscopy. They make incisions in your abdomen and use a tool to scrape the endometriosis off of your organs. I have an incision in my belly button, and then I have 3 on my lower abdomen, and then I had a cyst thing removed on my lower pelvic area. So I basically have 5 incisions because they all needed stitches. I'm about 4 weeks post-op. I'm pretty bloated still, and I still have bruising, and I still have some stitches that need to dissolve still. So, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. That's jumping ahead. So basically there are 4 stages of endometriosis. Stage 1, or classified as minimal. Stage 2 is mild. Stage 3 is moderate. Stage 4 is severe. So my diagnosis was moderate and stage 3 endometriosis. As most people know and talk about, if you have endometriosis, it is difficult to have a child one day and be fertile. The higher the stage, the more difficult it is to have children. So I'm not really sure on how to talk about that and navigate that. I'm also confused and only 24. He cleared my tubes. He made sure there was nothing going on in my ovaries, in my uterus. I had a couple cysts in my ovaries, so he removed that. We'll see what happens when I'm ready to have children. I'm prepared that it may be more difficult, or it might not, because I had this surgery and he cleared my tubes and I got very lucky. But again, that's a topic that I don't really know how to navigate and talk about, and it also makes me uncomfortable. It is something that I'm going through, and I'm talking about it because it is so important to share your story. And this happens to women, and a lot of women don't talk about it or know where to go to, and I'm going through it with everybody. I still get pains sometimes, like if I twist, But for the most part, I've been cleared to just live my life. I'm taking it really slow. I'm not really working out yet. I'll go on walks, the treadmill. I try to keep things to a minimum and not push myself. But it's been a journey. Each day I feel like I'm getting better and better, and I'm so happy that I listened to myself and I never gave up, and I found one doctor that would listen to me. And if I gave up, like that one gynecologist told me to just stop and I'll never find answers, if I would have listened, I would have been in a whole lot more trouble later down the line. I'm so proud of myself for never stopping to find answers and to get help, from being diagnosed with cancer to Hashimoto's to now endometriosis and PCOS. I have proven to myself that my body and my mind are so connected and I'm so in tune. It's just been a lot. It's been a lot, and I think it's a lot for anybody to go through and deal with, let alone dealing with all of these things in the span of 3 years. It's been a lot. I don't really know where to go from here. I'm healing, I'm recovering, and I get checked regularly. I have a follow-up appointment with my endometriosis specialist this month. It gets really tiring. So I'm hoping that this surgery kind of puts an end, maybe not an end, but just give myself a little break from everything. I'm just really tired. So I just want to live my life and have fun. So that's been my life. I'm definitely finding myself and learning what I want to do with my life and what I don't want to do, where I love, where I don't love, finding the career that I want and a friend group, and not let all of these medical things get in my way. So I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this big update on my life. So much has happened. So much has happened, and it's crazy, but you're not alone. If you're going through it, you're not alone. And you guys can always comment, DM, email me, anything. And I love you guys, and I hope I'll be back to social media, YouTube especially, because this is my home. This is what I grew up on. I love you, and I will talk to you guys soon.